We're in the middle of a romance. There are more single adults than ever before. Marriage is on the decline. The birth rate is at the lowest point in history. People are not connecting and forming real relationships. For the first time in human history, the very concepts of marriage and romance, God, the family, gender, and even our national anthem are under attack. Our American values have been slowly deteriorating and replaced with liberal, progressive values. We are in the middle of not only the romance apocalypse, but a war on our very souls. Speaking the truth is called hate speech. Patriotism is now called racism. Believing in God makes you a bigot. The current state of America is directly intertwined with the current state of our relationships. We are actively enslaving ourselves into a loveless, joyless, genderless future. Men and women of common sense and a moral compass need to wake up to the destructive madness that is being thrust upon us in the name of progressiveness and political correctness, and look ahead to where this ideology and agenda are ultimately taking us. We can make love great again. We can make America great again. But we need to remember who we are. We need to remember the spirit and the values that once made this country and our relationships so great.
This is a struggle for the survival of our nation. And this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy. And we will make America great again.
Hey everyone, happy Monday. Excuse me. How's everyone doing today?
And aside from just energy work, I give my clients exercises, lifestyle changes, and a different diet and nutrition plan to increase their natural testosterone.
Sorry guys, I got a pop-up video coming up. How's everyone doing? Good. How's everyone's Monday going? Awesome. We've got some cool things for you today. We're going to go over the weekend in comments. Just getting peeking in the chat rooms. Thank you. I'm feeling almost better. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it, guys. I'm feeling almost better. Still not 100% though. This has been kind of a lingering cold, but almost better. Just trying to drink a lot of water. So we had an interesting weekend, didn't we? Some interesting things happened this weekend. Nothing too like chart topping, but definitely some interesting things, and we're going to go over them in just a minute. Got to drink my water and vitamin C. So one thing that we had that was interesting was we had the White House Correspondents' Dinner this weekend. Did anyone watch the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Yes. The White House Correspondents' Dinner was interesting. So here's Michelle Wolf at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And, you know, I don't even know why any of the president's administration goes to these events anymore, this horrible event, because you know that once you get there, they're just going to trash you with jokes that aren't even funny. And it's really just a trash fest. They call it a roast, but it's not even really a roast because it's not even funny. They're not funny jokes. But here's Michelle Wolf, the comedian who thinks she's so funny.
A lot of people want Trump to be impeached. I do not. Because just when you think Trump is awful...
Hold on. Let me switch over.
You remember Mike... A lot of people want Trump to be impeached. I do not. Because just when you think Trump is awful, you remember Mike Pence. Mike Pence is what happens when Anderson Cooper isn't gay. Mike Pence is the kind of guy that brushes his teeth and then drinks orange juice and thinks, Mike Pence is also very anti-choice. He thinks abortion is murder, which, first of all, don't knock it till you try it. And when you do try it, really knock it. You know, you got to get that baby out of there. And yeah, sure, you can groan all you want. I know a lot of you are very anti-abortion, you know, unless it's the one you got for your secret mistress. It's fun how values can waver.
She's so vile.
But good for you.
Wow. That's just like, how vile can you be? And these are like the leaders of the Democrats that everyone's praising. Oh my God, they're so funny. Yeah, so funny to joke about abortion. And here's let's watch one little short clip again, and then we'll talk about it. It's really sad that these are their idols. Oh my gosh.
We are graced with Sarah's presence tonight. I have to say I'm a little starstruck. I love you as Aunt Lydia on The Handmaid's Tale. Mike Pence, if you haven't seen it, you would love it. Every time Sarah steps up to the podium, I get excited because I'm not really sure what we're going to get. You know, a press briefing, a bunch of lies, or divided into softball teams. It's shirts and skins, and this time don't be such a little bitch, Jim Acosta. And I'm never really sure what to call Sarah Huckabee Sanders. You know, is it Sarah Sanders? Is it Sarah Huckabee Sanders? Is it Cousin Huckabee? Is it Auntie Huckabee Sanders? Like, what's Uncle Tom but for white women who disappoint other white women? Oh, I know, Aunt Coulter. I actually really like Sarah. I think
it's like not even funny, right? I don't even think these jokes are funny, but they think they're really funny. What do you guys think? Did you watch this at all? Michelle Wolf, alleged comedian, right? Her voice is like nails on a chalkboard, but I think that's supposed to be funny, I guess. She might be funnier if sober, but we'll never know. No, I think this is what the Democrats call funny. This is what liberals think are funny, but I don't think she's very funny. I think that she just lost her career. But sadly, this is what makes a career in the liberal world. It's, let's see how vulgar and vile and disrespectful to conservatives you can be, and you're going to be the new hero. She's going to be on the cover of Time magazine, I'm sure, as the woman of the year, the most influential woman of the year. How much do you want to make of that? Now let's look at the tweets. Let's see who approved her. Let's see who approved this woman. Who approved of this woman? Well, let's check it out. Michelle Wolf destroys Sarah Huckabee Sanders at White House. Oh, wait. I know. That's Kathy Griffin, the one who destroyed her career because she had a picture that she considered artwork over President Trump's decapitated head. She says they're fucking pathetic. You were great. Yeah, that's because you have no soul and you have no conscience and you have no morals and you think that's great. Awesome. And let's see what else. Yeah, Kathy Griffin, there she is. I have some thoughts on Michelle Wolf's act and the reaction to it from members of the press and other DC insiders. For the record, I was in the room last night. Michelle Wolf's set was great. She was hilarious and confident. Oh, well. So, because Kathy Griffin says so, because she says something is great and she was hilarious, then we must all think like that. We must all think it's great and hilarious and confident because that's what sheeple do. They follow a celebrity talking head, false idol, who says one thing and then everyone says, oh, okay, maybe I should think like that too. So thanks so much for the validation, Kathy Griffin. And then, of course, this feminazi, Liz Plank, whose Twitter is feministabulous, she has no conscience or soul either. So glad prominent Republicans draw the line at smoky eye, but not a racist Nazi. And then she says, did you walk out when Trump defended Nazis and mocked a disabled man? And then she keeps on going to say, okay, now let's continue talking about her smoky eye and her and how racist Trump is. It's like these people continue this narrative of the racism and defending Nazis. When did he defend Nazis? And when did he mock a disabled man? Isn't that just something, wasn't he just doing something and then the guy happened to be disabled? And that's just the way Trump talks sometimes. It's so ridiculous. And then look at this guy. I don't think the best way to defend the First Amendment is to apologize because someone exercised it. So whenever something is insanely offensive and we call them out on it, they cry, oh, it's just First Amendment. Oh, they were just exercising their First Amendment. But whenever someone on the conservative side says one little comment, oh, they go mob mentality on it and they will rip apart your career like Laura Ingraham or Bill O'Reilly or so many other conservatives that they have completely destroyed their careers because of one little comment of exercising their free speech. Crazy times we living in. Well, it's really just the backwardness and the crazy of them, right? We're not crazy. We're normal. How was everyone's weekend? Vice did. Leftist feminazis. Yes. Dave Johnson said she was only there because she is black. Who's black? I mean, there are comedians on the left who are at least funny when they make fun of Trump. This lady is horrible. Yeah. Entitled much, Kathy? Time for me to play my man playlist, which includes Amos, Moses, God, and Guns, Country Boys Can Survive, and Manly Men. Haha. Sounds like my kind of music. I was so bummed I missed Stagecoach this weekend. I really wanted to go to Stagecoach in Indio, California. And I just got on the ball too late. I didn't get a chance to get my whole ensemble together. And, you really have to plan accordingly for that. Didn't get it. None of my friends really wanted to go because they're not into country music. Only I am. And I just jumped on the ball too late. Not enough planning, but I wanted to go so bad. Has anyone ever been to the CMT Music Festival, the Country Music Festival in Nashville in June? If you've been, let me know because I'm thinking of going to the one in June in Nashville to make up for my miss this weekend because I love country music. If not, there's also one I think in Sonoma in June, and there's another one in August in New Orleans, I think. So let me know if you guys all been to country concerts in different not in California, but a country music festival. I'm dying to know some recommendations, which one I should go, which one's worth it. I also felt like Stagecoach when I went last year. I must say, as fun as it is, I felt like in California, I felt a little bit like it was just like LA people playing dress up. They were just like dressing up like cowboys and cowgirls, but I didn't feel like they were really authentic country people. And I like being around country people. I like being around down to earth, cowboys and cowgirls. It's totally my thing. Believe it or not, I have multiple sides to my personality. But yes, it's it's something like I really like being around, like real authentic Texans and Tennesseans. So when I was in California at Stagecoach, it just kind of felt like I might as well be at a bar in LA with pretentious people that are cliquey and stick to themselves, but they just happen to be dressed up like cowboys and cowgirls. So that's kind of wasn't too bummed that I missed it this year, because I was thinking about my experience last year and kind of had to remember that. But let me know any recommendations for country festivals outside of California. Well, what I love about country music is because it has a lot of why I wrote this book, why I love oldies and Motown music, because it's very romantic. It still talks about romance and courtship and sex, but it does so in a way that's like old school. It's like the way that Motown music, in the Supremes and the Four Tops would talk about love. It's like they allude to sex, they allude to sexual things or romantic things, but they do so not in a vulgar way. They don't just go outright and say like, use a hoe or something. There's never anything disparaging about women, but it's still kind of like this sweet innocence that they do in country music that they use. And it's romantic, and they talk about God, and they talk about guns and family, and it's a very like down to earth kind of vibe with country music. So that's why I like it, and I recommend anyone who hasn't gotten into country music, you should do it, because it's a breath of fresh air from all the disgusting, degrading, debasing music that's out there on the radio right now. Yes, when America was great then. It is flirtatious. Yes, it is, Stephen Sears. It's exactly the definition of flirtatious. It's like coy, but not over the top. No, I could not imagine Keith Urban singing Use a Hoe. Like, I just want to F you. No, you don't have to be so vulgar and in your face to get your point across and to be flirty and sexy. Right? Thank you. Now let's talk about some other things that happened during the weekend, shall we? So let's, oops. Yeah, thank you guys. I agree. All right, so in other news, Israel is thinking of naming its new embassy row in Jerusalem after President Trump. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Nope, not yet. I would be happy about that. Also, they minted some coins, too. I guess they minted 1,000 coins with Trump's face on it, which is kind of cool. What do you think about that? Do you like this new alliance going on with Benjamin Netanyahu and Trump? Israel's thinking of naming its new embassy row in Jerusalem after President Trump to thank him. But of course, liberals don't care. This is not in the news. It's not making the news. Never. And this is a sign at school in Oklahoma. They are popping up in Texas and Oklahoma as teachers are being armed. I think this is pretty cool. Attention, please be aware that the staff at Ratton Public School may be armed and may use whatever force is necessary to protect our students. I like that. I don't know about you, but I like it. I mean, gosh, you would think that would maybe steer away some crazy people that are trying to shoot up a school, knowing that the teachers are armed. This is what I think that they should be doing more of, actually. I like this. I like it. I like it a lot. It's stark contrast to this. This is how I know that Pope Francis is a sham. And I've been having the sneaking suspicion, not even a suspicion, but most confirmation, lately that Pope Francis, based on what his words and actions have been, he has been hijacked by the liberal leftist agenda. He is a Marxist, a sheep in wolf's clothing. Oh, wait, sorry. A wolf in sheep's clothing. It's early. Look at what he says. Do we really want peace? Then let's ban all weapons so we don't have to live in fear of war. Yeah, real great, Pope Francis. Let's disarm everybody, leave everyone defenseless, so the killers out there and the dangerous people can go and hurt everybody that are now defenseless. And why don't we start with you? Let's take out the armed security that are hanging around you all the time, 24/7, all of your bodyguards. Let's remove their guns. And then let's remove the wall around the Vatican that's protecting you and your people. How about we start with you, see how you feel about that, see how secure you feel and how peaceful you feel. Right, Pope Francis? Let's start with you, you big hypocrite. This is a wolf in sheep's clothing. If anyone has any questions about Pope Francis, this should be very concerning to all of you. But he has been, the things that he's been doing, the things that he's been saying, it's been blasphemous, you know, and he's leading everyone down the sinful path. It's like he's the Antichrist, right? Like, or a false prophet, rather. Jesus warned us of false prophets, and this guy is a sham. He is not the real Pope, and I'm sorry to say it, but it's sad to me that people are still thinking of him as a real Pope. Just listen to his words. It's very un-Pope-like. Oh, and if you need any more confirmation, there's Pope Francis with Katy Perry, super Satanist and Luciferian. Katy Perry, Pope Francis meet at Vatican. Oh, and look how in awe of her he is. Now, that should be a little bit more confirmation. Pope and the Katy kissing in a tree, living happily ever after. Here's a black guy saying escape from the Democrat plantation. And this isn't the first sign I've seen all weekend. And there's a bunch of other signs I've seen with that same phrase, escape from the Democrat plantation. I like it. I'm on board. I think it's cool. Let's get more of these. Because really, remember, our motto from now until voting should be, and after, patriots have no skin color. Patriots have no skin color. The more we push that in their faces, the more they will lose every last leverage. Because their leverage, they're counting on the black vote. They're counting on the woman vote, the gay vote, the minority vote. That's what they count on. So when we start grabbing their votes and their people on our side, they're toast. See? It's time to unite and fight for freedom. Together we are strong, apart we are weak. Patriots have no skin color. Yep, we've got to stand by this. We've got to. Oh, now let's talk about some doublespeak. I love this. Planned Parenthood is, they were like, this is how sick and twisted and delusional they are, and really how Orwellian they are. Representative Barbara Lee supports Planned Parenthood nationwide speakouts. You know what she says? Your work really saves lives. Your work saves lives? I mean, come on, people. Coming from the place that murders babies every day and that has a quota, that tries to push a quota of how many abortions they should have every month at their clinics. This is crazy town. And then the Feminist Fight Club says, happy birthday to the great Gloria Steinem, who is 84 and still fucking up patriarchy like it was 1969. Here at the FFC, we often ask ourselves, WWGD, or what would Gloria do? Wow. That is sick and twisted. That is scary. So instead of what would Jesus do, they ask themselves, what would Gloria do? A crazy communist baby killer who has led millions of women down the path of destruction and sin. Yeah, what would Gloria do? I don't know. Oh, and I just really like this. The forgotten men and women of America will be forgotten no longer. That is the heart of this new movement and the future of the Republican Party. I like that. I like that. I'm back. I'm going to go through the chat room now. The Black Pope. Well, yeah. The Black Pope has been hijacked. It's a cult. Period. The end. But I don't want it to end. Margaret Sanger apparently has a bunch of bastard children known as liberals. That is funny. Yes, it's Agenda 23. It is. What a pretty speech. Yes, that sounds sweet and all, Barbara, but you know what they say, talk is cheap. Let's back up your words with the simple action. Saves lives by taking lives. Isn't there a comic book based on that? Yes, we are officially living in bizarro world, like Seinfeld says. Everything is left is right, right is left, up is down, down is up, good is evil, evil is good. You borrowed one of my words? Yes, you did. Samuel, that's one of my words, action. Action is the A in balls. That's my acronym, balls. We'll talk more about that today. And now let's look at cultural appropriation craziness for the weekend. Yes, these people are sheep liberals, would be lost in a real disaster. Of course, of course. I think it's pretty hilarious that, oh, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a video that surfaced over the weekend of, let's see, it was liberals in a New York City, it was like a Manhattan school, and there was a parent-teacher conference, and it was a group of parents, and somebody recorded this, and the teachers were telling the parents that they were going to have to let 30% more students who are immigrants into the classrooms, and they were going to have to lower the standards of performance because a lot of the students didn't speak English as their first language. And the liberal parents lost their shit. They were complaining and screaming, "Oh my God!" So basically, my son, you know, who works his butt off, is basically you're gonna say that like he didn't deserve that, you know, he didn't earn what he got because now he's gonna have to lower his standards. And I'm like, that's funny. You guys are the ones who voted Hillary in. You guys were the ones who vote for all this. It's all perfect and good. Immigration, cultural enrichment, and refugees flooding through. It's all great when you're in your ivory tower behind the scenes looking down on us. But when it happens to you in your own backyard, you scream and cry. If it is their ways, removed. Yes. Liberals think abortion is like removing a tumor. Right, exactly. They're just like, it's like, oh, hey, let me just get rid of something that's just being a nuisance to me. But I have to look at the, okay, so if you hold on 1 second, my cat is screaming to get in. So I'm going to just put you guys on hold for just a second. I'm sorry, but he is very loud and very vocal. I might even put him in the camera. Sorry about that, guys. My cat would just be screaming and screaming if I don't let him in. And he's very, very demanding and bossy. Okay, so a little bit more of crazy appropriation. My cat's name is Muffin. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can get him up here. Isn't he cute? That's my cat. Yeah, he likes when I podcast. He normally just sits underneath, but he's very, very sweet. No, he's not a liberal at all. He is a huge Trump supporter and a big conservative. Okay, So anyways, let's back to cultural appropriation craziness. Let's just see what the news is for today because it's very interesting. Okay, so this poor girl. This girl wore a Asian-inspired dress for prom. And, you know, she took some pictures wearing this Asian-inspired dress, right? And then this guy, Jeremy Lamb, says, "My culture is not your goddamn prom dress." Wow. And somehow it got, this is how people are so sheeple, it got 39.3 thousand retweets. 39.3 thousand. And way more likes than that. I can't see it right now, but it's like 50,000 or 100,000 likes. That's crazy. 168,000 likes. But then some other, and so many people said, "Oh, I'm so sorry about your culture. You know, she shouldn't be doing it. This is so bad. You know, Asian people shouldn't be borrowing from your culture." And then some Chinese guy kind of schooled him. He's like, "I'm Chinese. Nobody cares about the stupid idea of cultural appropriation in China. You can wear it whenever you want, and Chinese people are really appreciating it. Those people are not real Chinese. They're just American minority, and we don't have the victim mentality." Ooh, snap. I like that. Snap, snap. But look at what he says. Trying to just find this guy so that we can have a little bit more of a discussion here. This is the guy that thinks it's so oppressive for him. He's not even like that Chinese, but when white people put a B after my last name. Oh my God. This guy's creepy. And where's his comments on prom? Yeah, I got 14,000 comments. My culture's not your goddamn prom dress. I think it's a cute dress. It was a cute dress. I think that she looks stunning. Yeah, she does. And then, of course, he just goes on to defend his stance that this is cultural appropriation. But what about this? What about, like, didn't white people invent TVs? So now anyone who has a TV is culturally appropriating white culture? Didn't Italians create pasta and pizza? So now I'm going to go around, anytime a black person or an Asian person is eating pasta or pizza, I'm going to say that's Italian appropriation. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to go and stake out by an Italian restaurant. And I'm just going to go hide in like the bushes or something. And I'm going to watch and see, is any black people going in there? Are any Asian people going in there? Are any Mexicans going in there? And the minute I see someone like from black, Asian, or Mexican, I'm going to pop out, jump on them, and say, you are culturally appropriating Italian culture. This is the monsters that the left have created. They literally have created monsters. And he goes on. Femme factory workers wore this dress, and the style was then spread throughout Asia as a beautiful garment and sign of women's liberation. I'm proud of my culture. For it to simply be subject to American consumerism and cater to a white audience is parallel to colonial ideology. These are the radical Marxists that this education system is creating. They're creating people who are whiners, wussies, and looking for these things called cultural appropriation. and they're defending them. Somehow they're defending them in somewhat of a logical way. It's just really crazy. And then here's another form of cultural appropriation that happened this weekend, which is really insane. A singer by the name of Halsey, who I didn't even know existed, but her name is Halsey. She's a singer, and let's see what she looked like. This is what she looks like, right? Like this. And she also thought that there was a cultural appropriation thing going on. This is her. This is Halsey. And this one's really funny. I don't know if you heard this weekend, but I get a laugh out of this, and I hope you guys do too. Look at what she says. I've been traveling for years now, and it's been so frustrating that the hotel industry entirely alienates people of color. I can't use this perfumed, watered-down white people shampoo. Neither can 50% of your customers. Annoying. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I've been traveling for years, and it's been so frustrating that the hotel toiletry industry alienates people of color. Watered down white people shampoo. Hey, here's an idea. The watered down shampoo sucks for everybody. It's not quality shampoo for anyone. Not just white people or black people, for anyone. This isn't a race thing. This is a shampoo industry thing. A hotel shampoo industry thing. And by the way, Halsey, let me just look you up real quick. Halsey. Does this woman even look black to you? I'm sorry, but someone had an affair. If you think that you're black, I don't think so. Somehow she thinks she's black. Yeah, this girl's really black. I don't think so. If you think you're black, someone was cheating on you, because I don't think you're black. I'm sorry. But nevertheless, she goes and continues to defend it. Someone says, "You are one of the white people, sweetie." She says, "No, I am not." Oh my God, this is so ridiculous. Raced off stage from the best show in Brisbane. Oh, sorry, that wasn't one of the things. Who knew that me acknowledging that white hair care products are the national standard while people of color are confined to a tiny aisle would piss so many people off? Not sorry. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. The point is that mass production of those products as the standard is part of the greater problem of disenfranchisement. If white people can enjoy the luxury and convenience, there should be an option for everyone to. It's an insignificant problem, example of a bigger problem. That's all. No, the hotel shampoos suck for everybody. This is so stupid. This is the worst argument I've ever heard of cultural appropriation. And then someone piped back this, and I think it's funny. Imagine being a 23-year-old multi-millionaire, traveling the world to entertain legions of adoring fans, and being bothered by complimentary hotel shampoo. Right. This is what these people are, though. They're whiners. They're crazy people. And then the funny thing is this. Let me just show you this. I just said they're crazy people, right? Like anyone who would think this and get bothered by shampoo and all of a sudden say the shampoo is racist would belong in a mental institution, I would think. And then she says this. I don't know if she realized how bad this sounds. It's not just hotels. I stayed in a psychiatric hospital as a teenager. Yeah, sure you did. And they didn't have hair products for any patients who were POC. Oh my God. It's hard enough being in there as it is. But then you're going to feel ugly and dry and frizzy too. Nah. Anyways, y'all still missing the point. Lol. Yeah, so you just confirmed what everyone else was thinking, which is you are freaking crazy. And you just confirmed that you stayed in a psychiatric hospital as a teenager for a while. So why are we listening to you? Why do you have any kind of a platform? Shut up, do your job, and sing. That's all you're good at. Sorry. Am I wrong or am I wrong? Talcum X, or the singer's version of Talcum X. That's funny. Yeah, she just like admitted that she was in a psych ward as a teenager. Are you kidding me? You know how much it takes to get into a psychiatric ward? A lot. It means you're straight up certified bonkers. I think that's funny. Just when liberals couldn't speak enough. You know, Mark Dice, I don't know if any of you guys follow Mark Dice, but I love it. Mark Dice has a shirt. He has a line of shirt that he created that says, "Liberalism is a mental disorder. Find a cure." I want to get those shirts, and I think y'all should too. It's great because there's no other way to explain this. It is mental disordery. You should rename this because none of your examples are cultural appropriation. Well, that's what they are saying. They are saying it's cultural appropriation. And of course, it's not. I don't think this is Glows of Parks. I don't think this is cultural appropriation at all. Yep. Check in the chat rooms. You've been committed to the psych ward, but the real problem is the shampoo. Right. Thank you. I'm glad you like my dress. In other news, we have the caravans coming through this weekend. Yeah, apparently the caravans that are at the Mexican border that were coming through, you know, the 1,000 people or so that are coming through, that is here. And Trump is trying very hard to stop it. These are bought and paid for people that are clearly there to just disrupt the Trump campaign. They're here to disrupt and cause confusion and chaos in our country. And what's even weirder and scarier is that, I don't know if you've seen this, but they've shown that on the website is heavily promoting this, and they don't see anything wrong with that. But they're actually giving training to the people that are coming through, the immigrants that are coming through. They're giving them training, crisis training, they said, and fear training. So because in order to ask for asylum, they need to be properly scared. They need to show that there's a fear of death, that they're scared for their lives. They call it fear training. And they have to actually pass a test that shows that verifies if they really are in crisis or not, and if they really are scared for their life. They're terrified. So there's people that are training them at the border to pass these fear tests in order to demand asylum. I mean, I'm sorry, but if that's not an actor, then what is? This is fake. This is staged. And if you're really afraid for your life, you shouldn't need trainers to train you on how to act outraged and scared enough to pass this fear test so that you can then demand amnesty. I mean, what is going on? It's really scary that we're letting these people in and just letting them dominate. And what's also really cool is Trump, North Korea and South Korea are peaceful. They've declared peace. They've declared that they've ended the Korean War. But there's no news about it, of course, and no credit to Trump ever. In fact, there are stories discrediting Trump for his role in this, which obviously he was the one who started all of this. Look at some stupid magazine. Is Trump's diplomacy strategy pure genius or just dumb luck? No matter what he does, this is why we say he could literally cure cancer or AIDS and they still would discredit him. He would still get no credit. Like this. This is a huge thing that he should win the Nobel Peace Prize for. I would love for him to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Liberals' head would explode. But no, all they do is talk about, is Trump's diplomacy strategy pure genius or just dumb luck? Yep, that's it. That's how badly they hate him. In other news, oops. So if you guys don't know what Marxism is, just to let you know, because this is a lot in my book, it comes right out of the Frankfurt School. The Frankfurt School was basically satanic and Marxist, and they've infiltrated the United States. You could get a lot of information about the Frankfurt School in my book, Making Love Great Again, or on a site like this, henrymacow.com. So what they say is the witch hunt on today's campuses is merely the implementation of Marcuse's concept of repressive toleration. Tolerance for movements from the left only, but intolerance for movements from the right, enforced by the students of the Frankfurt School. So these are all simply just tactics that they're playing out, that they're actually really successful at. It's genius. And the Frankfurt School was designed to undermine Judeo-Christian legacy. They called for the most negative destruction criticism possible of every sphere of life to destabilize society and destroy what they saw as the oppressive order. They hoped that these policies would spread like a virus, continuing the work of the Western Marxists by other means, as one of the members noted. So this is their quiet revolution. This is the school's tenets. Okay, the Frankfurt School, their plan was to this: creation of racism offensive. Oh, well, that's happening, obviously. Sound familiar? Continual change to create confusion. Sound familiar? The teaching of sex and homosexuality to children. The undermining of schools and teachers' authority. Huge immigration to destroy identity. Promotion of excessive drinking, emptying of churches, an unreliable legal system. Creating dependency on the state. Controlling and dumbing down of media. Encouraging the breakdown of family. All of these things have been successfully deployed. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Marxist strategies or the Marxist overall plan to subvert Western values, you should have all of these in the back of your head, because all of these are successfully deployed. And these are working. They're working. So with that in mind, let's look at what's new in Teen Magazine. Teen Magazine. This is Teen Vogue Magazine. And this just came out yesterday. This is the kind of crap that's spreading in Teen Vogue magazine. How to masturbate if you have a vagina, step by step. So anyone who has teenage girls, this is the kind of garbage that they're reading. And it's all designed to, again, to sexualize young children and teenagers as early, as often as possible. How to masturbate if you have a vagina. So the whole article is literally teaching them step by step how to masturbate. And this is the new garbage that's in Teen Vogue magazine. It's pretty sick, if you ask me. Other things that are pretty disgusting are this. HuffPost. This is, again, for the sexualization of women. This is really scary. This HuffPost garbage author, Emily McCombs, wrote this article, a eulogy for Craigslist casual encounters and all the sex I found there. This is just such garbage, teaching women that it's so cool to be a whore, it's so cool to be slutty and promiscuous, and sex is just no big deal at all. So this is really sad. You know how Trump is fighting sex trafficking? He's fighting to end sex trafficking. So as a part of that, he recently shut down Backpage and Craigslist personal ads, because that leads to, it's one of the hugest places where sex trafficking and child trafficking was taking place. But of course, for liberals and feminists, you would think that they would be all for saving women and children. They're not happy about that at all, because they think that it's shutting down their sexual choice, the ability for them to have promiscuous and frequent sex. Oh no, that is a worse crime, that's shutting down that freedom than potentially saving thousands and thousands of children and women through sex trafficking. That's what's scary. And they want the freedom to have sex workers and prostitutes be able to work freely. So that's what they're mourning about, which is really disgusting. It shows how soulless they are. And then this woman goes on. I'm not going to read all of it, but I don't remember when I first discovered Craigslist. And it's very hypnotic language. It's very suggestive and hypnotic language. The free, community-driven classifieds website where people could find a new apartment or free bike as they could find someone to sleep with. And I remember the casual counter as a freshman in college. What I remember is the dawning sense of power, the realization that I can order up sex when desired as easily and quickly as pizza. He came to my dorm and we rode up the elevator together. I never had to even bother putting on shoes. Wow. Near immediate, easy, anonymous, it served as a playground for my non-substantial id. And then she goes on to say, on casual sound encounters, the laws of supply and demand meant a bare bones posting could net hundreds of responses, sexual possibility flooding into my inbox so quickly that sifting and responding became its own hypnotic ritual. The ads in the section range from a casual hookup request to an elaborate group sex fantasy, niche fetish ads, adult nursing relationship. They stripped human sexuality down to its most primal truths. Money could be exchanged for sex and drugs. Yeah, exactly. This is what we're trying to promote in our society, is sex is nothing. It's no big deal. It's just for lust and pleasure. I smirked at men who thought a wordless dick pic sufficient to secure a woman's attention. Where else could a woman decide she might like to engage in some light bondage at 2 a.m. and actually make it happen? So she writes this. This is all her eulogy because she's so sad that they had to shut this down. Thursday, after the Senate passed the Fight Online Sex Trafficking Act, or FOSTA, Craigslist opted to shut down casual encounters in its personal sections. The message users receive if they attempt to click, blah, blah, blah. The bill, intended to fight sex trafficking, received opposition from sex workers. And with the shutdown of sexual encounters, it's hard to not feel that the bill can mark the end of an era of sexual freedom, a playground for lawless desire and bare human connection that felt at times dangerous, but also essential, alive. That sums up the whole feminist movement and the modern liberal movement and mindset all in one paragraph, right? It's all about lawlessness. It's all about immoralness. It's all about just the most minimal human connection and most maximum physical pleasure. It's all about that. That's it. It's just living in the moment. Do as thou wilt. That's it. So what do you think about that sickness? But of course, millions of women are reading that every day and getting influenced by that. USA and Russia need to create a real science prize. Yeah, I agree. Freaking phone keeps ringing. How are we supposed to listen? Whose phone keeps ringing? Not mine. Hey everyone who's new. Welcome. Are you serious? But not surprised since Emily Linden is part of Teen Vogue. Oh yeah, Teen Vogue has the most corrupt, promiscuous women there. Marxists have successfully normalized outrageous stupidity so that no one can question any radical idea. If one dares to question, call him or her power words. Yes, Johnny Bravo, definitely. How do you know Republicans are just as guilty as everyone else? Absolutely. Well, Republicans are part of the problem too. That's why I don't call myself a Republican anymore. I call myself a constitutionalist. I follow the Constitution and I am on the Make America Great Again train. I want traditional American values, but I would not call myself a Republican. I will vote Republican because I know our only chance in hell is to vote Republican so that we can at least reelect Donald Trump. But I'm not happy with the Republican Party. We've found that they are confirmed to be rhinos and the deep state as well. Such great wife material, Hawaiian Tropic says. Aw, you're so cute. Thank you. Outrage for sex workers, but hashtag Me Too. Right, like what happened to Me Too? What happened to fighting for women? You know, I think it's hilarious that there's no outrage at all from the feminists about Allison Mack. Allison Mack was literally, she was luring women in to this depraved sex slavery cult, and she was luring them in under the guise of feminism. She was saying this is feminism, this is all about women's empowerment, this is all about women supporting other women. And that's what she would lure people in. Then without their knowledge, she would strap them down and brand them on their vaginas with her and Keith Raniere's initials. And then she would force them to be her sex slave and Keith Raniere's sex slave. And they would starve them, they would humiliate them, and keep them enslaved. Feminists, where are the feminists? Not a peep from feminists about that. Nope, nothing. I don't know why. I have an idea. Isn't that counterproductive? I would think. So let me just, yeah, I would think. It's a witch hunt on steroids and wanting no accountability. Oh, yeah. And you know what? This is how the liberal magazines and blogs and like Salon magazine, this is how they paint Christians. This should be really worrisome to all Christians because this is how they paint them. This is from Salon magazine this weekend. Onward, Christian soldiers, right-wing religious nationalists, they call them religious nationalists to make them sound like white nationalists or supremacists, launched dramatic new power play. Evangelical extremists mount Project Blitz, a covert campaign to recreate a Christian America that never existed. So this is a good thing. Evangelicals are trying to bring Christianity back to the forefront, or at least have Christians be persecuted in the U.S. like they are now and marginalized. But of course, any attempt at Christians to try to make themselves a little bit less persecuted and less marginalized just gets smeared and slandered and shut down from liberals and from the LGBTQ team. They get completely shut down. Now, for some reason, my downward, this is not working, but you guys should read this article. It's really disturbing, and it paints Christians in a really terrible light. It basically paints Christians as you know, supremacists, largely white and right-wing, like crazy, you know, intolerant Nazi kind of people that are doing this as a big power play because they simply want to bring more Christian values back and have Christians recreate a Christian America, because America was founded on Christian values. So it's really scary. You guys should read this in Salon magazine. It's definitely just one more attempt for them to smear and slander Christianity. It's really sad. So I wanted to just end this session today. And again, I'll be back on Wednesday because I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I wanted to end with a little excerpt from my book, Making Love Great Again, The New Road to Reviving Romance and Winning at Relationships, now available on Amazon. So I'll read a little section from women and a little section for my roadmap for men. Okay, the D in desire for women. This is from my Women's Plan to Making Love Great Again and Winning at Relationships, which goes over all the attraction strategies for how to attract men, and then I have the same for men. D equals desire and desirability. Desire your man. Show him that you desire him and that you want him passionately. Don't suppress your natural sensuality. Get in touch with it and let it out when you're with a man that you like. This is hard to do for a lot of women who have busy, stressful careers. Letting a man know you desire him can come in the form of text messages, touching him, telling him how sexy you think he is, and being responsive when he is showing his desire for you. Men shouldn't have to use trigger warnings just to touch you. And now this is already in the context of a relationship or a marriage. This isn't like doing this with just every guy like the Village Bicycle. I see two contrasting scenarios happening with many women these days. Either they're so fixated on the concept of consent that they shut down their own sensuality and men's sexual interest towards them and appear cold and blocked off, like they have a blinking red "get your grubby paws off" sign on their foreheads. Or the other extreme, where they act aggressive sexually, send nude selfies, or hop in the sack right away in the name of female sexual empowerment to prove that women can have just as much sex as men can have. Either extreme is not healthy or attractive to good quality men. You want to show a man that you desire him and that you are a sensual and passionate woman inside. You're just not a nymphomaniac with every guy that you meet. All men are visual creatures. They are first attracted to a woman's looks. This is why men are instantly drawn to women who dress in ways that enhance their feminine features, like wearing high heels, dresses, jewelry, long hair, and feminine colors. They're highly sensitive to the visuals, such as how you move your body, your facial expressions, your hair, and even your smell and your voice. Men are drawn to receptive, warm energy. They tend to run from women whom they sense have inner turmoil and negativity. Some women complain that it's sexist and superficial for men to judge women by their looks. And yes, of course, there's a percentage of men that are too focused only on a woman's looks and don't care about anything else as long as she looks like a model. But all men, in one way or another, are attracted to a woman's physical appearance. This isn't superficial or sexist. Rather, it is by intelligent biological design that men were wired this way so that they can fulfill their evolutionary goals of reproduction. Just like how women were wired to seek out signs of strength and courage, success, and to fulfill their evolutionary goals of protection, providership, and reproduction. If we're going to go that route, then we can both be accused of being superficial, right? So that's my section I wanted to read for women. I'm just checking in with the chat room here. And they're trying to be like The Handmaid's Tale. I haven't seen The Handmaid's Tale yet. And now I'm going to read a little section for men. Actions to help you achieve more boldness. Boldness breakthrough. For men. And this is for men's roadmap to attracting women and winning at relationships. Start asserting yourself more. Speak your truth, voice your wants, opinions, and needs, and communicate directly when you have issues, even if it's uncomfortable for you at first. Practice not censoring yourself and overthinking so much before you say or do something. Number 2, through your eye contact, voice, and posture. These are critical elements of your body language and energy to shift first and be conscious of when you're with women, and everyone else for that matter. Women take in a lot of information about a man through these elements. Women gauge whether a man is confident and capable or insecure and incompetent, whether he's an alpha or a beta, whether he's trustworthy and authentic or not, and whether he's essentially on her level or not. Your voice. For men, to communicate boldness, confidence, leadership, and competence, make sure your voice is powerful, that it projects, and it sounds decisive and in command. Women, or other people, should never have to ask a man, "What? What did you say? What?" when talking to a man. And sorry to sound sexist, but you can be soft-spoken if you're a woman, but a man should never be soft-spoken, unless he wants to communicate that he's a wimp who can't take care of business. You want to communicate that you can lead and you can be a boss. Leaders communicate their competence first through their voice. Thanks for all the hearts, everyone. Thanks for all the love on Periscope and YouTube. Your eye contact. Make direct and confident eye contact with people when you're interacting with them. Command their attention by projecting it more powerful energy through your eyes. If you look at most leaders, they hold your attention through their eyes. You want to do the same. Sometimes you break eye contact for a few seconds, so there's natural breaks in conversation. But you don't want to be averting your eyes when you're talking or listening, or look down a lot, because that signals insecurity. And your posture. Stand and sit tall and never slouched or with shoulders slumped. Walk with a swagger and a purpose. and take up more space if you're a man. Even if you're only 5'6" tall, stand, sit, and walk like you're 6'4". When you walk into a room, you want to own the room, not blend into the walls. Own the room. You can't own the room if you're making yourself look and sound invisible. Okay? Lastly, communicate your boldness through your style. Get a bold new haircut or wear a new shirt in a bold color or pattern that stands out. Like, this is why guys should wear red or pink or lavender or some kind of bold pattern shirt, because that's what gets girls' attention. And we think, you know, the more bold your colors are, the more that you stand out in a room full of people, the more balls we think that you have, and the more confidence you obviously have. So this is taken from my book, Making Love Great Again, and this is available on Amazon on Kindle or paperback. So you guys are amazing as usual. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here in just a sec. Too short. Samuel says, my voice shakes the walls of a room when I speak. Who believes this? Men certainly aren't attracted to sky screamers. Yes. I recently did a study on courting and dating. You're reminding me of some of the things I wrote down during this Bible study of mine. Ooh, I'd like to hear it too. You can't pay me to wear pink, but oh yes, black, absolutely. But black is not a bold color. Black is not a bold color. Black is a soft color or just a normal color. So I'm trying to encourage you guys. Yes, I am encouraging manspreading. Absolutely, I'm a huge fan of manspreading, and y'all should be manspreading. Do not listen to feminists telling you you should not manspread. That's just them trying to turn you into wussies, wimps, and women. Never listen to feminists and telling you what to do. Never listen to feminists telling you what to do. Because they will lead you astray, as they lead everybody astray. They don't know what they're talking about. Are you guys getting some slow feedback over there? Because I seem to be getting really slow feedback for some reason. There's like a big delay. Hi everyone who just joined. We are wrapping up now. But thanks for coming, and I will be back again on Wednesday. Hold on one second. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and say my closing prayer, and then we'll wrap up, and I'll see you again on Wednesday. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. I pray that more women and men see the light and can open their hearts to love instead of hate, can open their hearts to unity rather than divisiveness, can open their minds to truth rather than lies. I pray for love and protection for our great President Trump and his family and all those working for us, that they remain safe and resilient in the face of so many great forces working against them. I pray for all of you and the truth warriors of the world who are courageously speaking the truth and boldly working to bring those who are in the darkness into the light. The Lord says, put on the full armor of God so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. I pray that all of you find true and lasting love, and that God puts an incredible partner in your life to be with you during this journey and bring you the beautiful family, the joy, and all the blessings that you deserve. And lastly, we know that good conquers evil, that love conquers hate, and that together and with God's help and grace, we are able to make our country and the world great again. All right, guys, that's it for today. I love you very much. Thank you very much for being here with me today, and I will be again on Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. That's 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time. Yes. Perfect. Yeah, you'll love my book. Those who just said they wanted to buy it, you'll love the book. And let me know what you think of it when you start reading it. Bye, everyone. Yeah, my frame rate has dropped. You're awesome. See you Wednesday.